Welcome to Goûter. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
This is completely different to the life I was used to.
You have to try again. You have to keep trying.
That's what we don't actually realize. It's that it changes you.
I am acting hysterical. I'm like, I miss this.
I have like selective memory and I remember happy moments, but most of it is like a dark cloud.
So both my husband and I were totally blindsided.
I think it's across cultures. I think it's a difference of generation.
Yeah.
That's it.
You cannot choose what to be.
Okay, we're good. We're rolling. Okay. Okay, hi.
Hello.
So we have
Nilakshi.
And Karen.
Yes,
Yep.
I love that. So tell us a little bit more about you, about your life, about what fills your day, lately. Let's start with you, Nilakshi.
Nilakshi, yeah. So my name is Nilakshi, and I am a mom of 2 going on to 3 kids. And I'm an interior designer. I am married to Taylor, who is not here right now. But yeah, we moved from Ottawa 2 years ago, and have not looked back since. I'm a creative. I fill my day with design stuff with my kids, enjoying the really great weather now. And yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Did you want to escape the cold? Is that why you
Yeah,
came to Vancouver?
totally. Like six months of snow is not my cup of tea, especially
Wow.
for, I'm Indian, so
Yeah.
my body's used to the
heat.
you
Same
would
as me.
understand. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great. What about you, Karen?
Kind of similar situation. I'm not from here. I'm from Mexico. My name is Karen, and I've been here for almost 9 years now. I'm a mom of a 4-year-old girl. She's right there. And my husband, Brandon, he's the reason why I ended up staying here in Vancouver, because I met him right before going back to Mexico. It was supposed to be just for a short time, and I ended up staying and starting my relationship with him. Now we're parents, and I work as a nanny. I take care of kids, and that's how my days look like. I usually, start the day with getting my daughter ready for school, and then I take her to school. I take care of other kids while she's in school, and then they get picked up. I go pick up my daughter, and the rest of the day I am a mom and a wife. So yeah.
So how long were you supposed to stay in Vancouver?
1 year.
Okay.
The thing is, I came in September, and the weather started turning around. It wasn't summer anymore, and everybody here in Vancouver kept talking about summers here in Vancouver. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay the full year to experience summer, and I loved it so much. But I was ready to go back because it was September again, or I think November. I don't remember, but it was getting cold again, and I was like, I'm ready to go back. And I ended up meeting him, and I went back, but I was already in a relationship, so I found my way to come back to get to know him better, and yeah, it was supposed to be a short time.
So how long have you been here for?
9 years almost.
Okay, so it was supposed to be 1 year, and
Yes, ended up here. No complaints though. I love the city.
Yeah. What about the weather? Because it's very different from Mexico.
The thing is, like, before coming here, I didn't know about Vancouver's weather. I found out about it when I was already here. So the first year it wasn't affecting me, I could say, because everything was so new. But it took me a while to get used to it. It's still every winter I do feel like my mood getting down, but not as worse as it was at the very beginning or as soon as I became a mom. So yeah, no complaints. Also, even if I'm Mexican, I'm from a city where we have very cold winters and hot summers. So the cold weather was already a familiar thing. The rain is the only thing I wasn't familiar with.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the rain is a lot here in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is a lot. Okay, nice introduction. So for those watching at home or listening to this podcast, today we're talking about something that feels a little uncomfortable, I would say. So the topic is, I love my child. Why do I miss who I was? And I think a lot of women feel this, but don't say it really out loud, right? So I think that we can also say that you can love your child deeply and still feel like you lost maybe a part of yourself. right?
Yes.
It's not one or the other. So today I kind of want us to talk, honestly about these things. It became very quiet all of a sudden, very heavy.
So serious.
It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be. So my first question will be, Nilakshi, who were you before becoming a mom?
I was this social butterfly. Always doing something. Always needing to plan something. Super creative. Singing, dancing, meeting friends. And even I enjoyed my work. I enjoyed school. I studied architecture. So it was a very creative field. So I always had an outlet. Every single day there was something that I was doing that was artistic, But I also knew, like, in, even in my school days, my friends would always say, Nilakshi's going to be a mom first. Out of all of us, she's going to be the one that's going to become a mom. Because I love kids.
Yeah.
I absolutely love kids. Like so much of my designs in school had to do with designing for children, right?
Okay.
And so that was always part of my life. So then, yes, they were right. I did become a mom out of all of them. Out of all of them first. I got married when I was 26 and then had my first kid at 28. And so, and I grew up in an Indian culture where typically, culturally, at least it's changing now, but, moms stayed home with the babies. And my mom did the same. And she made it look easy. My mom always made it look easy, right? That she loved it. She never regretted it. That's what she was meant to do. So I kind of took on that role, and I took on that trajectory, I guess, thinking that that's what I'm supposed to do, that I'm supposed to sacrifice that. And so I did, right? And
when you said to sacrifice
my career.
Okay.
Yeah. My other passion, right? And, I kind of I made myself believe that I can always go back, which is true. But there are certain industries where things evolve and things change. And in the design industry, it definitely does, right? And so anyway, 2 years in, I started feeling pretty, I wouldn't say resentful, but it was starting to bubble, where I'm just like, I don't know who I am. Because I thought I could be a stay-at-home mom. I thought I could, be everything to this little girl that I love so much and I want to do everything for. But half of me is missing. It's not exploring, or I'm not being true to myself. And I didn't even know what that looked like because I was so overwhelmed. Right? And so I started to slowly take on a few creative projects at home, but it still wasn't enough. And then I got pregnant again. And so that cycle started again, where I'm exhausted from the pregnancy. And then I have another baby in the house. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put that passion aside, put my career aside, raise this baby. And that went on for quite a while.
Yeah.
Right?
So you didn't have time to actually breathe, you know, in between and try to go back to who you were.
No. And I tried, in between. So Arya was born in 2018. No, sorry, 2019. And my son was born in 2021. In between 2019 and 2023, I kind of dipped my toes in a few different jobs. And it didn't work out because of their needs, right? And, my husband's work schedule. And, so I'm like, okay, it's not my time. It's not my time. It's not my time. And so I was just putting it under just the blankets and just under the rug, brushing it off. And I'm not being the best version of myself, right? I'm not being the best mom because I'm looking at these kids that are my pride and joy, but then they don't know what creative mama is like. They don't know what, this mom that studied architecture and knows so much about traveling and, got inspired by the life that she had before, into creating beautiful spaces. Like they don't know that at all, right? So I had to start rethinking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Karen? Do you remember who you were before you became a mom?
I do remember it's funny because now that I hear you, I feel like who I was didn't change that much when I have to put it into words, but inside me, I was just like, this is completely different to the life I was used to. I would say because before becoming a mom, I was already a nanny, and I knew I thought I had the experience I needed to become a mom, because I was like, same as you, I was like, I always loved kids. I was having so much fun working as a nanny and helping other moms to fulfill their professional dreams, because of course I was working for working moms that needed the nanny to just like keep going to the office or whatever they were working on. So I just remember myself as a very free person. I had the freedom to make plans last minute, just like grab my bag and go, and just like very how can you say, spontaneous person. As soon as I became a mom, it couldn't be like that anymore. Before leaving the house, I had to pack a big bag and a backpack and still worry about so many things. So before that, I will say that I was very spontaneous and free and more creative when it came about making plans in my life, whether it was just for fun or, I don't know, dating him or something like that. It was just very different and easy. It was an easier life, I would say. Not that it's not easy right now, because it's still like very good, but I was more spontaneous and yeah, free.
Less planning.
It was just so easy to, should we go to Whistler this weekend?
Yeah.
Let's book a hotel. And do you have the money? I have the money. Let's go. Like, should we do, I don't know, snowboarding on Valentine's? Yeah, let's do it. I miss those things because it was just spontaneous and easy. Yeah. And then you become a mom and it takes a lot of planning, every single thing. Like, even if it's the shortest trip to the mountain, is just like which day at what time, and especially when they're little and they nap and they are breastfed, like, all those things attack me at once when I became a mom. And definitely that's one of the things I missed the most when I became a mom. Yeah.
The freedom.
Yeah. And also I would say I had more confidence in myself. It's slowly coming back, but I felt like I could do anything I wanted because I believe a lot in myself, and it was such a humbling experience to become a mom that I was just like, yes, maybe you can, but at this point in life, you don't have the freedom to plan all the things that you wanted to become, because someone else's life depends on you. So I think the confidence as well, it was way higher than as soon as I had my daughter. It went low for sure.
But also, I think this is not totally the topic of today, but postpartum, like depression postpartum, is also right. It's a big thing. That's what we don't actually realize. It's that it changes you
big time.
Yeah. How was it for you?
Like a dark, I don't even remember all of it. Like, honestly, I think I have like selective memory, and I remember happy moments, but most of it is like a dark cloud. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain to you, because my experience, if I'm being honest, it wasn't a good one. Of course, I had my little moments of joy here and there, because you have this like adorable girl that you made, and it's so nice. But on the other side, it's just like you're lost. I was lost. I was lost in postpartum, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel, yes, but it was hard and tiring and challenging and humbling, mostly humbling for me.
Yeah. Did you have
No.
Did you have a lot of support?
I don't have any family here, so all of my support was like via FaceTime, I think. Of course, my in-laws, they were there, but sadly we were not like close in distance to go and just, like go visit. And they're busy as well because they're working. So my husband had to go to work as well. I was staying home. So yeah, the support was there, but not 24/7, I'd say, because I had to figure it out by myself. Yeah. And I did it, which is okay. But my memories of postpartum are not the happiest, I would say. For sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Nilakshi? Was it also like a black hole for you?
I honestly, with my first, it wasn't even a conversation, or even it wasn't even something that I thought of would happen. So both my husband and I were totally blindsided. I didn't know I had postpartum depression and anxiety until after a year of having my daughter. Where he's, he was frustrated at me. He's like, why are you like this? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm like this. What's going on? And then a year later I go to the doctor and he's like, you have postpartum depression. I'm like,
okay, so the
why
doctor
wasn't
told
this
you.
talked about before? Why didn't I, especially for first time moms, I feel like it's not something that was talked about, maybe more so now. And so for my second, we definitely planned. It was still very tough because I think fragments of my depression from Aria, from my first, kind of carried over because it was totally untreated. And so with my third now, that's June, I'm preparing myself.
Yeah, you're ready.
I'm just like, I'm like, Taylor, you gotta, you can't do this, you can't do that. The kids need to be taken care of. You're taking a month off work. I need you for me. I can't be on my feet too much. Although, I'm terrified of also the postpartum healing journey of the weight gain, weight loss, all that kind of stuff. Women are so hard on themselves, right? And I know I'm going to be hard on myself. And but I am happy to be in Vancouver, and it's going to be sunny, so lots of walks, and we have a great community here in the city, and getting to know more people like you guys, which is always so helpful. So I am hopeful that it will be much better.
Yeah. I mean, Vancouver is a perfect city for that, right? Like, you can definitely
depending on the month.
summer, just 2 months of summer that we have. It's actually really good. But I think that around motherhood, there are a lot of taboos. One of them is postpartum depression, right? No one talks about it. And you said earlier, for example, your mom was an incredible mom, and she made it look easy, you said. And I think that's also the problem, right? No one talks about it.
She had a lot of help. She was in India. She had a lot of help.
Still, people make it look easy. So you think that when you're gonna have your child, it's gonna be easy, and then you fall into that black hole or whatever, like depression, and you're like, why is it happening to me? Like, no one told me it would happen to me. But then when you talk to other people, you realize, oh my god, you also went through that, or so is there anything in motherhood that no one told you about and you wish they had?
I would appreciate it, someone coming like straightforward to me and telling me you're about to enter the most challenging episode of your life, because it was challenging, but everybody says like, oh, it's the best, you have your baby in your arms and everything gets just like so nice and sweet, and it does. But on the other side, you have a lot of challenges, anxiety on top of everything, because I had anxiety as well, and I don't think it's talked enough to know that it's gonna be hard. Not the worst time of your life, but it's gonna be hard, and you need to know in advance. Maybe doctors, someone professional that you respect that tell you like, you know what, there's depression. And because I knew about all these things when I had my daughter in the hospital, I remember doctors giving me all this like information about depression, purple cry, all these things that I didn't know about before during my pregnancy. So I didn't prepare myself, and I was supposed to know at that moment, and I was already so busy and tired. So it was like day by day learning. But I would have appreciated maybe my mom as well, like it's gonna be hard, but she was like, oh, I had 5. You girls right nowadays, you're just like, you like to complain a lot. And I'm like, you also had a cleaner, a nanny, family, you had access to all these things, and here it's different. It's just different than what you saw growing up. So I wish someone
and then we
told
chose
me.
to move away from the help.
Exactly.
Right, but we did.
Yeah, we did.
That doesn't mean that we're not deserving of help.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And so,
and I feel like the topic behind it is also you don't have the right to complain, because your child is here and you're supposed to be happy. You cannot say, I love my child, but it is hard, right? And it is hard. People don't let you, that space, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a completely different grief journey, right? You can be so happy and have that part of you that grieves who you were.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? And that and grief for everyone looks so different. And
So you said that for you, it was really hard. The postpartum depression was really hard for the first one, and then you were a little bit more prepared. Did you ever feel that you lost a part of yourself, or maybe you disappeared a little bit?
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say, I'd say that I've only really found myself again after moving to Vancouver. And that's 5 years after having my first kid. Right? And I think part of that was kind of like sitting down, reflecting on, okay, I am deserving of following my own passions and doing what I love to do. And what is that? There was a lot of fear of failure as well for me, because I've always wanted to start my own business. And so I would freeze. I'm like, I can't do it. But then my husband, he was my biggest cheerleader, right? And pushed me and pushed me and pushed me in the best way. And through every dip and every failure of my career, he would be like, you have to try again. You have to keep trying. You take every job, it's going to happen. Sometimes it happens quickly for some people. Sometimes it happens slowly for others, and that's okay, right? And that's still hard for me, right? But I'm glad that I listened to that voice and I listened to him, because that is my creative outlet. That is part of who I am, and that has made me a better mom. Because I'm pouring into my cup, my own cup, right? And I think every mom needs to find that. That could be as simple as, going out with friends, making sure you have time for that, right? And that's also another thing that my husband's really good at is he never says, oh, but I want you to stay home with me. Well, of course, like I want to spend time. Well, okay, no, he does want to spend time with me. But when I say that I really want to go out with my girlfriends, he knows, like, yeah, you need
okay
to, you need that, right? We have our weekly date nights, right? We make sure that we have plenty of babysitters here that take care of the kids when we go on dates. But when it comes to like, having that girl time, it's just like we need that. We need those girl friendships, those moms, those not even just moms. Like I have so many friends that are single or that are even single moms or 10 years younger than me that bring out a side of me that was from university years.
The fun side, right? Yeah.
Where I just like, I'm acting hysterical. I'm like, I miss this. I want more of this, right? And then I'm good for another few weeks, right? So it was a long journey, but I'm grateful that my move here kind of changed all of that. Yeah.
You said that, you missed that part of you that were like fun and hysterical and everything. Do you feel like sometimes guilt for missing that old life?
I think that depends on the day. If I feel like I've parented really well that day, and then I know I'm going out, then I'm like, I deserve this.
Okay.
Right? But then, there are days where I feel like I failed as a mom, where I've yelled at my kid, where I wasn't there emotionally for them the way I needed to be. And, and of course there's apologies and stuff that happen. But, and then I go out and then I feel like, oh, does she think that she's less important than my friends? Because I don't want her to feel that. So that's where the guilt comes in. Guilt it's not a good feeling. It's not, but every mom feels it. But it can really damage you if you don't kind of face it head on and address it. So whenever I do feel that, I usually tend to have a conversation with my kids and apologize and tell them that I was wrong and make it up to them, which is another topic, I guess. Right? Right? Growing up, parents saying sorry to their kids was not really heard of, right? It's cultural. Like it depends on the culture.
Oh, but also I think it's across cultures. I think it's a difference of generation.
Yeah.
That's it, you know?
Yeah. And so it's very humbling to be able to kneel down and look at them face, like right in their eyes, and say, I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. You know, I'm very sorry. Can you forgive me? And then, of course, they're the quickest to forgive you.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's also, you know, it takes a lot to be able to actually apologize, right? Because you could just brush it off and be like, okay, tomorrow is going to be better. And that's it, right?
Yeah.
But no, you make a point of like, you want to apologize to your kids. So that's very powerful.
Yeah.
That's great.
But there's, you know, my daughter, my kids have a hard time when Taylor and I go out on a date night, right? And, you know, there have been days where there's been meltdowns and they've just, you know, like, no, we don't want you to go. And I'm like, oh. And we have to like take a few minutes and be like, you know what? Mommy and Daddy actually need to spend that time together. Mommy has friends that I love spending time with, just like you have friends that you love spending time with. Right. And it's really important that we honor that part of ourselves. Right. That does help. But then sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we don't explain it to them.
Your kids are 7 and 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And for you, Karen, did you have like something in mind, you know, before motherhood, where you're like, oh, my journey as a mom will look like that, it would be like that, or?
I had this like idea of what type of mom I was going to be, because previously, before becoming a mom, I was working with some other moms, and you get to see the types of mom you're working for, you know. Have the BC, the one that it's careless, like, you know, I was just like,
I want to know, what are the kind of moms?
I mean, I don't have a name for all of them, but I got to work with the one that was always busy, basically just like throwing their kids at me, and they were just like, hey, Karen. I was just like, I'll take care of you, like, you know, everything, doing basically everything for the kid, which was nice because I was learning so many things. Also, the other mom that was next to you, like, kind of, why are you hiring a nanny if you can do everything you're asking me to do? And when I'm doing it, you're like, you know, there as well. I was just like, why? Like, the anxiety. I remember those moms like having anxiety, wanting to be involved in every single thing, like checking cameras. And I also said, like, I'm not going to be like that. And I don't want to be also as careless as this other mom. But then you become a mom. You cannot choose what to be. You just like bomb with this like anxiety some days, and some other days you're just like, my house is a mess and I don't care, and I'm just gonna just, you know, like enjoy my baby. It's like depending on the day as well. But I did have an idea when I was pregnant what mom I wanted to be. I think I tried my best to be that mom, but of course there were days where I'm just like lost in myself. In motherhood, I didn't even know who to ask for help or advice, because at that time I didn't have a lot of friends either that were moms, and the ones that I had, they weren't close to me. Like, I didn't have friends in the neighborhood, you know, that mom that you can just call and say, like, you want to go for a walk or a coffee, or just come over and let the kids interact while we chat. So I think I missed that part in my postpartum. And yeah, I tried to plan it and be certain type of person, but it just happened the way it was supposed to happen, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How old were you when you had
I was 29.
29. Okay.
I got pregnant when I was 28, and I had her when I turned 29.
So did you ever feel like something was wrong with you for not enjoying motherhood the way you thought you would enjoy it?
Yes, big time, because I don't know if I'm proud of it or not, but I base myself a lot on what I was seeing on social media. I don't know if you have gotten into this topic, but you see social media's perfect mothers, and you think that you can do it, but you don't think that maybe they're just posting it for whatever business they have on behind, or they're just lying, or just posting the only nice things. So for me, I was just like, I want to be like this kind of, I don't know, let's say I had like 5-6 months on social media that I was just like a big fan of their way to be a mom. And yeah, then I became a failure about it, because I was just like, why I cannot be like this mom that I see that she's just having fun while the kid is like throwing marinara all over the floor and the carpet, because I wasn't happy with that. I was just like, don't do, like, you know, like ready to clean. So I had lots of moments of guilt. And now with the time, of course, and the experience you get, you learn that it's not possible to be a perfect mom. You just like learn that what you are is okay, and you try to your best. just your best.
You're telling me you're not making a homemade goldfish cracker?
Yeah.
No way.
I saw this on Instagram where she's making her own goldfish crackers. So the next thing you know, I'm on Amazon looking for those molds, and I'm like, I am not doing this. This is ridiculous.
Talking about that influencer, what's her name? Nara Smith.
Yes, but you know, she's getting, it's a business. At the end, she's doing it for viewers, for followers. It's not that she's like 5 a.m. in the morning doing it for their kids. It's you have to understand that social media right now is a business. It's not like advice or like professionals telling you what to do.
You know? It makes you believe that, like, you should be doing these things. And then I just paused and I'm like, this is crazy. This is exactly what they want me to do. Right? I'm not making homemade goldfish crackers. I'm not.
Like, I fell into some of those things because I work for the organic mom. You know, that was another mom that it was like everything organic, everything homemade. Like, my kid is never gonna have anything out of the store, you know, like with a package. And I remember the clear words saying like, I'm not gonna be opening packages for my kid so she can eat. So I was doing like, you know, my own applesauce or some other homemade things. And then I go to the store and I read the ingredients and it's basically apples and lime juice. I'm just like, why am I peeling apples like crazy at home when I can just get one pouch and make her happy and make myself happy, and that's it. So you find your balance. But at the beginning I got bombed in social media with all the things I should be doing or enjoying, and it wasn't like that.
And then it's also shameful, right, when you can't actually achieve that level of perfection that they have, which is, I mean, it's social media. It's just a snapshot of whatever is in their lives, right? And so at that moment, everything is perfect. Like the kids are all clean and smiling.
Exactly.
And maybe 2 minutes later, it's actually a shit show over there.
Actually, not so long ago, I was talking to a friend and she said, you make motherhood look so fashionable. And I'm like, yes, because I'm taking a photo when she's clean, I'm clean, and I'm just like pretending I'm smiling while trying to make a good pose. But you don't see me, I don't post the other moments where I'm just like losing my patience or like just.
But why would you post that though? You know, that would be weird as well, to be like crying and stuff and be like, okay, I'm gonna.
You don't want to be this person like complaining or like, you know, like dirty or with your hair not washed, something like that. So I'm just trying to avoid to post those things and try to post them little moments of joy where you actually feel like yourself again and nice put together. So yeah, when she said that, I was just like, no, like I thought, you know me, like we're friends, so you should know that it's not fashionable being a mom. It's just the opposite. You have those moments, but it's moments, not like your life.
But I think it's good to post, you know, these moments, but people need to realize that it's just a moment, right? And that if your life is not like that, it's okay, actually. It is totally fine, right? So, hard truth, I would say. What was the hardest emotional moment for you after becoming a mom, Nilakshi?
The hardest emotional moment? That life was not going to go back the way that it was. And kind of grieving that, but also super excited for the future. Because you can have both truths at once, right?
When did you realize that the life that you had will not come back and everything will be totally different?
At the hospital.
Okay.
So, yeah, my daughter was born 5 weeks early. And I never got to hold her when she was born. Because she was taken to the NICU and we were there for 2 weeks. So I never had that bonding experience, which I think probably played into the postpartum anxiety bit. Knowing that in that moment, I wasn't protecting her, right? That she was under the care of nurses and doctors. And I'm in the hospital bed just healing, trying to heal without my baby. And then having that time to be like, oh my gosh, we're going to go home. And I have a life to take care of. And I can't go back to what it was, right? Am I going to have enough help? Am I going to be a good enough mom? What if she falls when she's sleeping and I'm holding her? You know, what if I completely fail her? You know, and these are all, every mom goes, you know, has those questions, right? And but then as she was growing older, it was realizing that life is obviously better with her around. That kind of came as I started, taking walks with her and trying to feel that bond again that I just didn't get at the very beginning. Yeah, it was just like the daily rhythms that I had to instill into my life for the first year.
So at the hospital, you're like, okay, I'm freaking out. We're taking that little thing home.
the hospital.
And she stopped breathing twice. So
What?
yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
and I was never told, right, that she stopped breathing. So every time she stopped breathing, we had to extend our stay by a week. So yeah, so she stopped breathing the second day, so we had to stay an extra week in the hospital. On the on the seventh day, she stopped breathing again, and then we had to extend our stay by another. I don't know how I did it, to be quite honest. It was awful.
What did they tell you at that moment if they didn't tell you that she stopped breathing?
She was preemie, so they said it's common
okay
for babies that
to extend the stay, or
no, that she stopped breathing.
Oh, yeah.
The extending the stay was protocol.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that was pretty scary. But the overthinking came because my husband only had a month off work. So I'm like, half of that was spent in the hospital. We don't have any time as a family
Yeah.
at home, right? So when we got home, I am having panic attacks because, I only have 2 weeks at home with you with no help, right? And, my parents lived in Niagara, and they would come once every couple months, and and Taylor's family would do the best they could, but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean,
Enough.
emotionally, I didn't even know what I needed.
Yeah.
Right at that time.
But can we talk about that as well? Like parental leave is kind of like parental leave, I would say, is long, but like obviously your maternity leave would be like a few months, and then the dad only has a few weeks, like sometimes a couple of weeks or a month. Do you think it's enough for what you're going through?
Because you're by yourself. Imagine, I did it with only one child. Imagine having more than one at the same time while you're on leave. You need someone. Maybe at least your husband is like my first option, of course, because your best friend. But if you don't have your husband, at least you need someone to be there. That's when I remember I read about people saying that before, in the past, when moms gave birth, they had a village. Because you need a village. You need someone to, sometimes you just need to take a shower and you can't.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I'm going to be embarrassed of mentioning this, probably 3 days, and I was like, I haven't showered, and I don't remember when was the last time, because it's been so many days and many things happening that I need to go for a shower now, and you don't even think about you needing a shower. It's just like, you're so many things, you're so busy in your head that the things that used to be regular for you, they're not anymore. So
But the thing is, like, for work, right? Most workplaces don't top up, right? Which is probably why parental leave is so short for men, especially, right? Like, sure, if you work for really large corporate firms, they'll give you a top up to 100% or 90% of your salary if you take, for however much time you take off. Yeah. But for most industries, that's not the case. So you're relying on EI, to pay you for your monthly salary, and that's not enough to cover the cost of anything, right? So realistically, more than one parent can't take that time off, and I think that's something that needs to change, because dads do need to be part of this postpartum
parenthood
journey, right? Anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, because I think, and I don't understand how today in 2026 this is still the case, right? We still think that doesn't need to be kind of in the picture, because even for them, how do you want them to bond with the child, to support you, to if they only have a few weeks, they also have to adjust to this new life.
It's life changing for them,
and it's
as well.
Totally different pressure on them too. It's like, and it's not like they don't want to stay home.
No.
Right? I know that, like, Taylor loves his job, absolutely loves his job. But if he, you know, if in any workplace that he was at in the past and now was like, hey, take 3 months if you need. We got it, right? Like, you'll be covered. I'm sure he would.
No one would say no. Yes, of course.
No one would say no, right? And
Yeah, you would take it.
yeah.
How long did your partner have at the time? How long did he take? Did he take any of the leave?
I actually don't remember. I think it was no more than 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, I think, at the very beginning. We had to stay in the hospital, not as long as you did, but 4 days. And we came back home, and kind of similar. One day I was just like, you need to go back. Because, like, it doesn't cover, it doesn't top up the 100%. And I wasn't perceiving at that time because my job was a nanny. So I wasn't able to apply for any kind of, like, help financially. So he had to go back to work for sure to start making money. So I think it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So how does that work for nannies? Are you kind of freelancers? Or?
There is a way, but I found out after that you have to ask the parents to put you in payroll so you can do taxes. But at that time I was kind of lost in the system, the Canadian system, because I was new and yeah, so I wasn't on payroll, so you're not allowed to just like ask for help because it just doesn't apply. So so as soon as I was able to start nannying again, when I was already a mom, I started doing it. And now I know the way to do it, but at that time I didn't. So
yeah,
it was different.
So did you feel like you were supported by your partner, or did you feel like not enough, or you wish that he understood you a little bit more?
I feel like sometimes I was getting frustrated about, like, I wanted him to understand and to feel what I was feeling, but also I wasn't explaining. I was just like hoping he will understand, you know, like guess my mind or something like that. Now I know, but in that moment I was very like kind of angry, you know, like why is he like going for a workout for 1 hour and he doesn't know that I'm here and I want to have a shower, but also I wasn't putting it into words.
Yes.
So he couldn't guess my mind at the time. And now that you say you missed because what was the question? Can you repeat it again? The previous question was like, what did you miss the most? Or
the hardest emotional moment?
The hardest emotional moment. For me, it was how much I missed my partner. Not the dad he was at that moment. Because he became a dad and I became a mom. I missed my boyfriend, you know?
That's so true.
That's what I miss. I miss, you know, our fun together. Sometimes just like watching TV, joking, daily life with him, because he was my company, and then it switched and I had different, but we never were what we were before becoming parents again. Now it slowly it comes back. It does come back. You start dating, your life changes, but you find these like moments of couple moments. But that's one of the emotions I miss the most, just like having my boyfriend again. And now we were just like, of course, like we got married, but he was a dad as well and I was a mom, so we never went back to what we were before. So coping with that I struggled a lot. I was like, we were a fun couple, like we used to do hikes, we used to drink every weekend, and we just weren't doing it anymore. It was so I missed that a lot when I became a mom. Him.
Did you wish he understood something that he still maybe doesn't understand at the time?
Everything. Yes. I wish I had maybe the courage, or I just didn't want to bother anybody else. And yes, I wish he could understand what I was going through, but I wasn't even able to explain it, because I would say, like, in my mind I was like, this is hormones, or this is me just being sad, or it's Vancouver's weather because it was rainy season, it was dark. So it was so many things that I was like, I couldn't even like put it into words and go and ask for help. I struggle so much asking for help, and I couldn't go and say, you know, like, I'm not happy right now, I'm struggling big time. So I wish he knew more, but also I wish on my side I was more talkative about the situation, which I don't remember myself doing it at all.
You didn't communicate enough. You were like, read my mind.
Because I thought I was just going to be bothering him with like another complaint, you know, more complaints about like the day, whatever I was going to. So I wish I was more communicative about the situation.
But I think that men should be more informed, like, about this as well, right? It's not they'll never understand, and that's okay, right? But the information that should be available or, taught.
They should be forced to have like a class, like.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, you're in this together, right? You'll never understand the hormonal shifts that we're going through, and like, what I'm terrified is, I was just telling him yesterday, is the hormonal drop that happens 2 days after you give birth, where the rage starts and the crying starts, right? And I remember that's not something that he understood at all with both. And I didn't understand it either, right? But then I started researching, and I'm like, oh, this is very normal. Yeah. So when this happens again, please don't ask me
What's wrong,
what I need, why are you angry? Just be there. Bring me food. Give me a hug. Like, have my favorite snacks ready.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is part of womanhood, part of being a mom, and every woman will experience it differently. But I'm terrified of that.
So you feel that they would never understand. Do you feel they are also going through these identity shift that you guys are going through, or not at all?
Oh, of course they go
In
through
my
it.
experience,
Yeah,
yes, for sure. Because they're lost as well. I remember he was asking the nurse how to hold a child. And I was a nanny, so I for sure knew how to just like grab one and just like whatever I had to do, because it was natural for me in a way. But he was just like, and I was just like staring at him like, how you don't know how to hold a child? And I was like, okay, this is what I do on a daily basis. Of course, he's not going to know. So the nurse was explaining like, this is how you put your arm. And for me, it was like hard to believe, but it was reality in a way. So they go through a change. They become dads as well. So
it's something that we also as women won't understand. Their identity shift is completely different than ours.
It is, I guess.
Right? They have this thing of responsibility and this mindset of protection that changes as the family grows. And we're lucky, like, if we have like good men in our lives that yes, we have these men that are going to protect us, that are going to give us what we need, and they're committed to learning about what we need, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right,
Did you feel that there was anything you couldn't say to your partner, maybe intrusive thoughts or things like that at the time were kind of dark but you couldn't share? Or did you feel like you were able to share everything?
I couldn't share. I definitely had like awful thoughts. Yeah, like the postpartum depression was pretty bad for me.
Yeah.
Where, I had, suicidal thoughts for sure. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality for a lot of women.
So harming yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then looking at my baby was
the only reason
the
why
only
you
reason.
didn't.
Yeah. And then, like my husband didn't understand. Go get help. And I'm like, I don't need help. I need you. He's like, I can't help you. And so it's like this cycle, of a...
Yeah, I second you on that for sure. Because I remember these moments of like chaos, like they're loud and you're just like you're so tired and you're just like, I don't like my life anymore. And I don't feel happy right now. But then again, like you have this only reason you need to not do anything bad. So for sure it crossed my mind. Because you miss so much how easy it was before. Then when you're there and you have all this guilt, because I remember like at nighttime when that moment already passed and you're like quiet and peaceful at nighttime, I was just like, how did I dare to think or consider something so dark and bad? But it happened. And I wouldn't say it happened only once. Honestly, it was a few times where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And then on top of it, you're losing hair. You look at yourself in the mirror. You don't look like yourself. It's
all the losing hair.
Everything you're going through, like physically and mentally, it's exhausting. It's hard for sure. Yeah.
But did you feel like you were able to share that with your partner or with your
no,
parents?
never. I was so embarrassed of me thinking that it never came out of my mouth.
So why the embarrassment? Why the embarrassment though? Because it is dark, right? So you shouldn't feel embarrassed about that. You should actually, communicate more, share it. And
I think because of the people around me, like when I was complaining to my mom, not to blame her or anything, she was just like nowadays girls are like, they like to complain a lot, like it was easy and you were doing this, and I was just like, okay, maybe I should just like
Yeah.
not say anything
Yeah.
because it doesn't get like a nice reaction to me or like a compassion towards me or empathy. So I was just like, I shouldn't. And with my friends, I was embarrassed to go and pretend I'm not having the perfect life right now.
Yeah.
And I was just like keeping it to myself, to be honest. But one thing also, good side of social media, I remember a few moms were brave enough to talk about these things. And I was just like, okay, somewhere in the States or somewhere in another city in Canada, there's another mom feeling the same way and she's putting it out there. So I was just like, at least I don't feel like I'm the only one. So
Yeah.
that helped for sure.
Yeah. I think culturally as well, or generational, depression wasn't allowed. Like for me,
Right, I
right?
know.
Like it's just like, you know, I would bring it up, and to, you know, if I brought it up to my mom, no, it's a mindset. You can't think that way. You just have to turn it off. And I'm like, I can't. It's a chemical change in your brain. It's a rewiring that happens. I can't. So then from that moment, I felt like I couldn't bring it up because of that.
Yeah.
And so then with Taylor, it was never really, I never brought it up in conversation like, hey, my body feels funny. I don't feel good. You know, I was never able to talk about it. What would happen is like I would have a dip, I would have a meltdown, and then it would be like, maybe I just shouldn't be here. So it would then turn into a fight when then, you know, like he'd be like, where did this come from? It's like, are you depressed or is there something else? Like, why are you talking like that? So that would worry him. But it was never like a conversation that, hey, I'm here for you. Do you want me to take you to the doctor? Let's get you checked out, you know? Now there's language for it. Now we're able to talk about it in a much more healthier way, and we're aware of what could happen. And I'm already, you know, I've planned for if it does, then what I have to do. But yeah, it was awful for the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been really hard for both of you to not be able to share, and I guess scary maybe at the time, right? Because did you, I mean, not that I want to go darker, but I'm like, harming yourself and everything is a lot, right?
Yeah.
And were you scared at some point of maybe doing it? Maybe you're like, yeah, I don't trust myself, you know, and maybe one day I will.
I never planned anything. But the thoughts were there. Were like, the execution was never, ever part of my life. But it was in my brain, like, this is how I would do it. But it was never actionable.
Okay.
This is really dark, yeah. So it's like, I'm not proud of it, and I'm not, you know, it's crazy that that was something that was even part of my life, right? And I wish I had more help when it came to that, or at least more people asking, like, hey, how's your mental health? How are you doing? Can I do anything? Do you need a nap?
Would you have been, you know, would you have said to people, I'm not doing well?
If they asked me, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there is also, as we said earlier, that thing of like, I need to pretend that everything looks, you know, everything is good. Would you have shared though?
It was so long ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
With Aria, that I know that with Finn, I was more vocal. My son's name is Finn. I was more vocal about the things that I was going through. The truth is, life in Ottawa was difficult, right? So I didn't have that community to open myself up to and share my thoughts and experiences with without feeling judged. And I'm so grateful that that's changed here. So over here, yes, I do. Back home, not home.
Your old home.
Back in Ottawa, it was definitely tougher to reach out for help. I did end up getting therapy. Yeah, I did. And I had, you know, developed a couple of friendships that were healthy. But other than that, it was it was very difficult.
I think that's also why we're doing, this kind of podcast, because as you said earlier, you heard like somewhere in the US,
Yes, it's going through the same thing.
Going through the same thing. And that's exactly what's happening, right? Like a lot of people are just saying everything is good. And it's very shameful and it's very lonely, I guess, when you're like, in that moment and you cannot seek help, you don't know where to seek help.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing, right? You don't know who to turn to. What would be your advice for people who are going through the same thing?
I would say like don't hold it for too long, because we tend to hold it like we pass it, but don't get to the point where you're on the meltdown, because I remember that same meltdown that you're talking about. When you were talking about it, I was like, my meltdown was this time when I called my sister and I was just like, I need help. I was getting like skin rashes everywhere. My body was showing like, you need to seek for help. And I remember calling my sister. My sister ended up calling my mom, and my mom was in less than a week in my place. So I was just like, okay, so I do have people who care about me and they're willing to help. I just need to communicate. So don't just communicate and ask for help. Like whoever you trust, even if you don't trust, sometimes they're just willing to help. And if you don't have close family or something like that, for example, we're in Kitsilano, there's like this family places where they have resources to help you or to connect you with the help you need. So don't be embarrassed of talking, because we are all going through hard times, whether it's motherhood or something else, but like put it out there. Like even if it sounds as a complain about whatever is bothering you, because you need the help. It's necessary to get help when you're going through all this like dark moments.
If you feel like you're being judged, move on to the next person.
Ask the next one.
You're worthy of getting the help you deserve, right? And I think that when it comes to postpartum planning, right? I think I took that for granted. Have a postpartum plan. Have a if you're in a partnership, like if you have a partner, plan with them, like, this is what's possible when I'm after giving birth. This is what I need. Follow it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that I'm doing this time around. Make sure there's meals. Make sure you have, like, if the people will make you a meal train, right? Things like that. Those that alleviate that stress from your life. And honestly, friendships are such
someone to call in case of emergency. Like, I'm not feeling good today, you want to do this? And they can read the room, so they can like, she's struggling right now, I'm gonna go and show up, or just try to do something,
and someone who's not judging you.
Exactly.
And women need to be there for each other. Like, we need to be there for
and
each
also
other.
be that person,
be that
person that you're wanting or needing sometimes. Just like it's a, how you say it, like two-side job. Like you have to be that person in order to receive the help as well. So yes, be a good person for sure.
But I think it's beautiful to see that you also rebuilt yourself, to the women you are right now. Do you feel that you're still trying to find a little part of who you were before? Or is it all the new Nilakshi and the new Karen?
I think I'm more into the new one. And I like her. I dare to say I like her more than the one that I was before becoming a mom. So yeah, it gets better for sure. You start enjoying everything again. But if you are able to rebuild yourself and get the confidence again back after becoming a mom, I think that's a lot that you have to be proud of yourself. You have to like applaud yourself for those situations, because it was a hard moment, but we tried at the end. So I think it's good.
Yeah, I would say now I'm loving the trajectory of our lives. There are things to improve on. Like I need to be more patient. I need to be more forgiving, right? But in terms of where life is heading, I am very grateful and very happy with where we're at. I am nervous for the third baby, and am I gonna lose myself again? Right? Because I feel like in the last 2 years I've finally found who I love being, in a place that I love, with the kids and with my family and friends, and but I think that it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what helped you start reconnecting with yourself?
Sometimes you just have to be at your lowest
Yeah.
to start rethinking everything, right?
But was there a moment you were like, okay, I'm coming back? Yeah, I can feel it. It's me again.
Yes, it's motherhood starts getting easier, you know? They're not always like here next to you. So you start getting free hands. They start walking or they start eating. You're not always like breastfeeding. So I have my moments where I felt like, I feel like myself again. You know, this little girl's date that you go for a brunch and you come back and it's just like resets your life. That date night that you get to have with your husband and somehow you found a way to dress up and just like feel like your old self. Yes, I had those moments, and nowadays I still have them where I'm like, you know, before becoming a mom, I used to love like fashion and dressing up and just going out for like cute drinks, something like that. And right now I'm redoing it again, but no shame, because when I became a mom, I was like, that's so superficial. I shouldn't worry about those things. And right now I'm just like, you know, that's what I actually truly enjoy and like to do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna embrace it and do it and be proud of it. So it's slowly coming back the confidence, and it feels so nice, even if it's just a little thing.
That push you to do it too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
creates that space for you.
And
to
do
be
it
like,
with
yeah, go.
fear. Like applying for this podcast, Karen from 4 years ago probably will be like, oh, I wonder who's gonna apply for it. And now I was like, okay, I had like myself. I was just like, I'm gonna fill up the form, and you know, nothing bad can come out of it. So this means something for me as well. So it's nice. Yeah, it's little moments again that prove that you prove yourself again, that you can just like come back and be the person you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it hard for you because you're pregnant with your third baby? So I feel like from what you were saying, between the first one and the second one, it took you some time to go back to yourself, I would say. And then you had, you know, that pregnancy again, and now you're redoing it.
Yeah.
Is it hard to, you know, lose yourself, find yourself, lose yourself, and find yourself again?
I don't think I ever found myself in between those two pregnancies. I think I was just lost in between those two.
Okay.
Like between Arya and Finn.
It was also like only 2 years apart, right?
3 years apart. Where they were both, you know, Arya was so little. And I knew I wanted more than 2 kids. I mean, sorry, more than one kid.
Okay.
Right? At least 2. At least 2, yeah. And so I was, you know, I'm like, okay, well, it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And this is, if I want to be a young mom, you know, then I need to have another kid now. Right?
How many kids do you want?
Oh, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're done.
I'm done.
3 and then done.
I'm totally done. Right. This one was a surprise. So it was.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the finding myself didn't happen until Finn was in daycare at the age of 4 or 3.5, and Arya was in school. So that's really when I'm like, okay, I have time now to really think about what I want to do, right? And I found what I love doing, committed to it, and don't planning on giving it up right now, like, or at least, you know, working around.
Yeah, for sure.
Around baby, right? Of course, I'm going to take time off. Of course, I'm going to,
take it slow.
Take it slow,
Yeah.
right? But I'm not going to give up design. I'm not going to give up going out with my girlfriends, going out on date nights, making new friends. I'm not going to, you know, give up that part of myself that's so important to me.
You need to do things just for you, right?
Exactly,
You need to go
yes.
back to that from time to time, right?
Yeah.
Because you're taking care of your little one or ones,
Yeah.
and you'll, as we said, you forget yourself, you disappear and everything. So finding yourself again, I think, means also doing things just for you. So I love to hear that. If you're being completely honest, has motherhood made your life better, harder, or just different?
Better for me.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of learning. It's amazing the amount of things you can learn by just becoming a mom. I honestly think that every mom is like a superhero. It's like you do so many things, and on top of it, you're keeping people alive. It's better. Like for me, it's very fulfilling. Kids can be very like, you know, like, oh, I mean, I'm in love with kids, so So yeah, I think better.
Mm-hmm.
You understand more around the world, other people's lives. You stop judging, I think, maybe a little bit, because you don't know someone else's journey, and yeah, it humbles you for sure a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
What about you,
I
Nilakshi?
needed that humbling
Yeah.
shot in my life for sure. I did.
I think all three can be true at
Yeah.
once. Better, harder, or what's the other one?
Just different.
Different. It's, yeah,
You're right, actually.
it's all three.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you, I can't imagine my life without my kids. You
Mhm.
know, they're what I prayed for since I was a little girl.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to be a mom. Harder, yes, because now they bring out the side of you that you're like, wow, where did this come from?
Mm.
You know, I need to improve that about myself, right? So they shine a light on parts of you that you need to address,
Yeah.
right?
And maybe you
Um,
weren't aware of.
I wasn't aware
right?
of,
Mhm.
right? And parts of you that need to heal.
Yeah.
Get therapy
Yeah.
so you can be better for them, right?
So
And
would you choose this path again, knowing what you know now?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Okay. So what would you say to a woman who loves her child but feels lost right now? Outside of help, like we went through that, portion, but what else would you say to them if they're lost?
I would say that it's just an episode in your life. It doesn't it's not gonna last your whole life. It gets better. You find a way to find yourself again, whether if it is like needing some help or whatever, but it gets better. You're gonna find yourself again, and just count it as an episode of your life, and I think it will pass and you're gonna thrive again. So
Mhm. Like
Yeah.
one day at a time,
Yes.
and it would pass.
And don't do it alone.
Exactly.
You know, like have those cheerleaders in your corner that, will cheer you up or, kind of cheer you on through the littlest of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got through another day. You kept another human being alive today.
Yes.
Right? Like you miss this about yourself, you will get it back. You know, what can I do for you?
Yes.
You know, you need those people in your life that and you know what? That's easier said than done because sometimes it's hard to find those people.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But you gotta try for sure.
You have to
'cause
try. Yeah.
you need at least one person. I'm not saying like have like 20 people to talk about these things, because not everybody is a social or extrovert,
Yeah.
but you need at least one person, and don't be afraid to put out there whatever you're feeling and needing, because that will make your pathway easier than when you're keeping everything to yourself. For sure.
One of our guest question was, what is something about motherhood that people don't talk about enough, and why?
How tired you're gonna be at least the first month. No one tells you gotta have to do all these things during a last of like 24 hours. You have to feed, you have to eat yourself, you have to talk, you have to be social, so many things with like 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I was just like, how am I functioning? I feel like sometimes the people were talking around me and I was just like, I need to sleep, and I can't, because it's not, it's 1 p.m. I shouldn't be sleeping right now. I have places to be. Yeah, you're gonna miss sleeping, but you're gonna somehow be able to still function, and then it gets better. You're gonna get big stretches of sleep, and everything gets way better with rest, with enough rest.
And you're going to want to get up on like your third day postpartum and do everything normally the way that you used to. And that's not recommended. Like
Yeah,
I would
honestly.
say just let it be done for you.
Yes.
You know, and communicate that. Like stay in bed with your baby.
You're in pain, and
You
you don't have anything to prove to anybody, even to
Yeah.
yourself.
I don't know in Mexico, like do they have like that 40 days or that 30 days of
The moms are back to work after 40 days in Mexico.
40.
40 days.
no
Back-
but there's no like in Indian culture
The quarantine. They call it quarantine in Mexico. Yeah, we have it as
in
well.
bed rest, where you're everything is done for you, food is brought
Yeah.
for you,
Healthy
you know,
foods, like everybody's
how long?
nurturing for 40 days.
For 40 days.
For 40
Yes.
days. And you're supposed to be in bed those 40 days, just carrying your baby, and everything
Yeah.
around you is taken care of.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Not here though, but yeah, they have that in Mexico, and I do think that it should be in every single place in the world,
should.
because
Yeah.
those 40 days you need them. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
But like for me, my brain is just I'll hear dishes clanging, or I'll hear the vacuum going, like, I should be helping. I should be helping. I need to get up, right?
Yeah.
But this time I told myself, and that's what I was like. My healing process was stalled because I wanted to get up and help.
Yeah.
But this time I'm like, I can't do that to myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to
No,
rest.
you need to
I
rest.
need to rest.
You need to
I don't know
rest.
if I need 40 days, but
But
yeah,
you need
I
the
will
rest.
maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll take, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to take some time for yourself. Thank you so much for this conversation. That was
Thank
very,
you.
very insightful. Just want to end on that question. Is there anything that you would like to recommend to the audience? A book, a podcast, a TV show, anything that you listen or read at the moment and you want to share?
I don't have any specific name in my head, but if your source is social media, because mainly my source is like social media, I don't know, Instagram or TikTok, choose wisely who you're going to follow and who you're going to actually take advice from. Just choose the ones that are like honest or real, or just take whatever is going to do good in your life. Don't go and try to get perfection, because it doesn't exist. So that's the only recommendation I'll say. Like, whoever you follow, just make sure that it's not going to affect your daily, your life.
Yeah.
Your motherhood decisions and those kind of situations. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 podcasts that I listen to often are IMO by Michelle Obama and her brother. Just because they have real talk, and they cover so many topics that I, sometimes cry listening to, laugh listening to, and it's great. And then the other one, which is a recent discovery, well, my husband listens to it too. It's called The Knowledge Project. And I believe that the speaker, or not the speaker, the host is based in Ottawa, but he interviews people from all over the world. And I listen to him when I need a boost of inspiration and motivation, because he goes deep into a lot of like women's lives who started as nothing really, like whether it's like, she was cleaning people's houses and then she became this created this multi-million dollar company, and and obviously being rich is not the point. The point is that these women didn't give up.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I need that motivation, I just turn on a few of those and get myself.
Yeah. I love that. Good recommendations. Okay, thank you so much. What are you going to do for the rest of the day?
We're probably going to have some lunch or something. The day is just so beautiful. It's sunny.
Yeah.
It's cold out. Oh, it is windy
It's
as well.
so cold.
But for Vancouver, I'll take it today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
There you go. Oh, done.
Awesome.